seen a woman happy who settled. And I ain't never seen a woman who didn't settle be unhappy. That's the illusion. Y'all think it's better to have a relationship where you're completely unhappy in than it is to be alone. That's wrong. There's something so powerful about having to reach, to stretch high, instead of slouching down and picking up what's on the ground. This is why anybody who settles is at the bottom. People who didn't, they're at the top because they raised the standard, they reached higher. Generally, the reaching motion in and of itself produces a happy hormone, whereas slouching down produces sorrow and sadness. Baby, when you settle, it makes you small. When you settle, it makes you coward. When you settle, it causes you to be depressed. When you settle, it causes you to miss out on opportunities. Why? Because when you settle, you're not reaching, you're slouching. I don't know who this is for, but stop thinking that the happiest you're going to be is what you settled in. That's not the truth. And the happiest you're going to be is when you reach and you raise the standard and you begin to accept and realize that you're worthy of the reach and fully capable of it too. And fully deserving of it. Because the best fruits got to be picked, not picked up off the ground. Did you catch it? They got to be picked by reaching, not picked up off the ground by slouching. Everything that fell on the ground is already rotten. And you think you're going to be happy and nourished by it? It's time for bed.
There's not a man in this world that's going to be able to convince me that I'm asking for too much. I'm just not going for it. See, I understand that y'all have created this narrative that black women only deserve the bare minimum, or we should be okay with just accepting struggle love just to say we have somebody. But I won't be one of those black women. And black women, we need to stop settling, because majority of us deserve way more than what we have been receiving. See, I grew up around providers, so I know what it looks like. I know what it looks like, and I know what it feels like to have a man pour into you and love you properly and protect you. I get it every day from my brothers. I know exactly what it's supposed to be. So for a man to come along and convince me and try to persuade me to only accept the bare minimum, I'm not doing it. And understand this, that if he wanted to, he absolutely would. You should never have to try to prove yourself, prove your love, show your worth to a man, because if that man is for you, he's going to see it without you jumping through so many hurdles just to get him to love you properly. We got to stop settling.
Y'all, I really think these men need to wake up and realize that a lot of women aren't settling anymore. Yes, most women do want the ideal life of the picket fence with the husband and the kids, but it's getting to the point that a lot of women have suffered so much endurance, long suffering from these men, that a lot of us are making peace with the fact that if we never get the fairy tale or happily ever ending, happily ever after, we'll still be fine. It's getting to the point where we made peace with, if we're alone, if we have a family by ourselves, we'll be more at peace, more successful, more mentally relaxed than settling with a man. And that's just the hard truth. Like, it is what it is. So what are y'all niggas gonna do? What y'all gonna do?
When it comes to not settling in relationships, something that we often tend to get stuck on is this fear of being alone, is this fear of being single. I have been there. I have been in relationships that should have ended long before they did because I had that same fear. And what helped me as I have exited some of my most recent relationships is realizing that staying in a relationship where I'm not getting my needs met, the longer I stay there, the more that I am guaranteeing, I'm almost making a promise with myself that I'm okay not getting my needs met or not being loved the way I want to be loved or appreciated the way I want to be appreciated. The longer we stay in those situations, the more we're making a commitment to ourselves to continue settling for less than what we deserve.
I mean, you hear a lot of women talk about settling, I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to settle. I deserve better. And what's actually crazy about the whole, settling conversation that they tend to have is that, you know, an average is an average. You look at baseball, he's batting 200 or 250 or 300. An average is an average. Okay? An average is an average. And that's the one thing about it. An average is an average. And I think that if your average experience with men, if it's all the same, it's always bums, it's always the dude, or you always happen to have the same type of experience, that's your level. You know, that's your level. I don't understand why women can't really understand their level. It's not compromising. You know, you always hear, I deserve this, I deserve more, I deserve this, I deserve that. That's their thing. I deserve. Who says who? Do you understand how narcissistic that comment is? Well, I deserve better. If you deserve better, you would get better. You know, and when you look at women, you know, I think they're very unself-aware. They're not honest with themselves. They're not honest with their situation, you know. And if these are the type of dudes that you constantly attract, or the dudes that you want don't give you attention, or they hit it and quit it, that's really an indictment on you. You're not compromising. You're dating at your level. This is your level. And at the end of the day, they have this very expensive taste, right? They have this taste for Gucci or Prada or Fendi, or for going to Milan or to going to Monte Carlo. They have this taste to be in the Bahamas, you know, all the time and travel when they want. But, you know, they broke. That's really the perfect analogy for it. And it's like if all the guys you find attractive are bums or guys with no jobs, you know, and that's what you find attractive, guess what? That's what you like. If you see a dude that's dating the same type of girl, whether they all tall and light skinned, or they all short and dark and thick, or they all big and wide, or they all got blockheads, that's what he like. So, you know, at some point you have to be honest with yourself, and then you have to be honest with the world. You have to be honest with the world. You have to be. You have to be. That's what I truly find funny. This is your level. Now, if you're saying, oh, I don't want it, I just rather be by myself, then I feel you. But you say you want to do better. You know, a lot of times for most women, it's too late. But if you want to lose some weight, work on your personality, work on your social skill, be more inviting, be more happy, work on your attitude. Her attitude dictates everything, how she feels about a situation. All right. Her attitude dictates that. So I don't really understand, you know, why they can't beat it through their brain. And then what's so funny, if they do get a dude that they desire, they don't even conform long term to him. They end up messing that up. They end up destroying his life, turning him into a bad apple. They end up destroying him. They end up destroying him. It ain't like, okay, I finally got the one I want. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be inviting. I'm going to be loving. I'm going to be caring. I'm going to do all the things that he need me to do. I'm going to follow through. No, it don't come like that. They like, take me as I am. Take me flaws and all. You ever notice that? Women say, take me as I am. Don't want to be better than then. They wonder why, dudes hit it and quit it. They find out guys cheating on them. And it ain't really cheating because he never committed to you. Women don't want to improve and don't want to improve. And sometimes it ain't weight. Sometimes it's just being a better person, personality, being more inviting, listening before talking over somebody, following. But some women have this disdain for men, disdain for leadership. They don't respect men. And at that point, you should go get an OnlyFans. At that point, you should go be a lesbian. At that point, you should go bust it open for a real one. And just sell the coochie cat then. You should not be in the field because it doesn't change. If you don't respect authority, you don't respect men, you can't be in a relationship. You can't be in a relationship. But you know why women like that? That's on that feminist or that misandrist shit? Because they need men. And it's so hard for them to say it. They need men. When they need their car fixed, they need a man. When it's a rodent in the house, they need a man. When they in trouble and they need protection, they need a man. When they need a plumber or they need some work done, they need a man. Need that grass cut, they need a man. So you asking like, why is it so hard for them to admit that? Because they hate men. Most women hate men. And they hate them from the simple fact that they don't even understand that they benefit from a man's success without having to take the accountability or take the grunt of the damage that comes with it. Your man is your force field. Your man is your shield. He takes all those shots. He takes the accountability. He takes the responsibility. He lays the discipline and structure. And really, you are free to do what damn near you want to do. That's why he dies first. His lifespan is less because he deals with all the stress. But they feel trapped because they can't make the bad decisions that they make. And then when they be single and they make these bad decisions, and then it's still a man's fault. No, it's your fault. Ain't nothing wrong with following a man's leadership. Most dudes ain't nowhere near strict as they should be. But hit the link in the description, join the Patreon. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.
Y'all got a lot of nerve talking about settling for average men when you're a bunch of average women. 20% or better of women are 8s, 9s, and 10s. The bulk of women are 4s, 5s, and 6s. That makes you hella average. Basic Betties. And you got a lot of nerve talking about settling for somebody that is what you are. Y'all need to remove that shit from your vocabulary. You ain't settling for an average man. He's settling for you because his value will increase with time. Your sexual marketplace value will decrease. So you may be 20-something right now, late 20s, 30s, and average, guess what? 40, you'll be below average. 40, even if he's an average man, he'll still be above because he's 40. Far too many women talk about men or speak to men as you're above men, that you're better than men, that men are an option. That's what womanist, feminist, proper media has told you guys. That ain't how it works. I don't need a man. I don't need this. Okay, fine. Right.
You know what? I am a strong, independent woman.
Yeah, that's right. And then you wonder why you end up with the outcomes you end up with because you've devalued men so much to where if a man can't pay all your bills or blow your back out, he ain't worth nothing. Got news for you, ladies. Men bring a lot more to this world, and just because your simple ass has minimized them to that says a lot about you and the people who raised you.